Okay, just a quick video. As you can see, and as you can probably tell, you'll need me as your news source. 13.1 developer beta is out apparently. For those of you not quite in the Apple loop, remember 13.0, iOS 13.0, is not even out for the public yet, and yet somehow with 13.1, that might be thinking, well, sometimes during a .2 or .3 release, those are not even out yet too, and then we get like a 9.3 when the 9.2 was still in testing. This is different because this is a final release, and then iOS 13 is not even out for real for the public, and yet now we have iOS 13.1 developer beta. And this is just a screenshot, but you can see that, yeah, I didn't have this 13.1 developer beta. Now, a bunch of people did say that, this should be iOS 13.0 beta 9. Because this comes after beta 8, so it would be beta 9. Instead, it became an iOS 13.1. Now, I find it to be a little bit weird, but it's hard not to think about how, with the original iPhone, and then they try to plan a software update for 2008, and then they change 1.2 beta 1 to 2.0 beta 1 instead of 1.2 beta 2, because they want a round number every year for a new iPhone. Now, there's a couple theories on this why they would push 13.1, and I've run 13.0. Number one is kind of buggy. Even on beta 8, there's still a few issues, which for a software that's only a couple weeks away from actually being released for real, don't worry, this is watchOS 5, it's really, really bad. Second of all, I did get this, and then a bunch of people told me it's probably a bug, but last week during iOS 13 beta 8, I actually got this notice of just iOS 13.0, which, as you people know, only looks this way when it's a final official release. It does not look like this during the betas. So I'm leaning on the camp that the beta 8 of iOS 13 is actually the final release. Now, it makes no freaking sense because a lot of people still want to install iOS 13, the Gold Master, which, if you don't know what a GM is, basically it's the final public version of the system. Now, I got this, and then some people got beta 8, but I got 13.0, which seems to indicate a GM. It does have the build letter A, which, if you don't know Apple betas, usually when the letter is closest, it's in reverse alphabetical order. So if it's closer to A, that means it's closer to final build, and A looks like a final build, as suggested by this screenshot that I have. Unfortunately, I'm now on 13.1. I installed 13.1 today. So exactly what's new in 13.1? Previously, they removed Siri automation, which is you can hold down the home button or the side button, and then Siri would pop up, and then you get to run a chain of commands. So that's been removed in iOS 13 beta, but apparently it's made its way back to 13.1. And not only that, it applies to the iPad as well. So iPad OS 13.1 is also a thing today. Now, I think it's a GM, but people have several theories on this Reddit thread. So there won't be a 0.0 release. It's clear now. 13.1 will be what is released in mid-September. So he's suggesting that it's going to take 13.0's place, because 13.0 would normally be in mid-September, but instead they just skipped the number. Because Siri Automations is out, they originally planned it for 13.1, according to this theory. Again, it's a theory. They would. Now they have Siri automations working earlier than expected. They'd just rather push at 13.1. But I don't think it makes much sense, because you could just rename it iOS 13.0 Beta 9 and then say, hey, in this beta release, we fix Siri automation. So I don't get it. So like, I doubt that it's very likely that Beta 8 was GM, which is the case with this screenshot. Again, a manufacturer, but this makes no sense because manufacturing iPhones, how do they flash iOS on there? Usually one of the final steps. So, but it's like moments before they get shoved into a box, they will flash iOS on there. It's not like it's flashed early on and it's just sitting there waiting to be assembled. So it's just so many different theories, but noted that there's only one resolved issues, which was that Siri shortcuts automation was out. So I do think that 13.0 is going to be back because, again, 13.0 is so big of a marketing standpoint. Right now, the current release is 12.4.1, which of course patches the jailbreak. I don't think it's going to be followed up with 13.1. I think that because it's so buggy, here's my personal theory, they're going to try to fix all the bugs at 13.0 and release that in mid-September, and then maybe 13.1 in early October or mid-October or even early November going into the winter months. But yeah, I have no idea why, so I'd love to hear what you have to say about this in the comment section below. This is so weird, but we didn't have 9.1 beta when 9.0 isn't even released yet. So 9.1 is a pretty medium-sized release. It does have some new features, not a bunch of new features, but some new features. And so this might be the case again with iOS 13.1. So it's just weird, and there's questions to be answered like, will there be a 13.0 public at all? How do we go about installing 13.0? Because we've had issues, installing a lower version of iOS. So would that show up in the OTA, right? We can install this on iTunes, but will it show up on the OTA? Will it show up in the software update menu? Because it reads that it's 13.1, so it might not push the 13.0 update. These are questions that remain that require to be answered before September 17th, which is my personal prediction of when the iOS releases are going to come out, because August 17th, there's a Apple Arcade 1 month thing, and then I made a whole tweet on Twitter, and then we figured out that September 17th is the likely release date, and now we got a leak that says September 10 is likely when the new iPhones are going to be announced. So September 17 is a date to mark on your calendar regarding 13.0, and even more so with this 13.1 controversy. So yeah, what do you think? I think I just waffled eight minutes in front of a camera, but just let me know, what do you think? Have you experienced 9.1? I think everyone's mind is kind of hazy with 9.1 because it's in the summer of 2015, and not a lot of people have the best memory of this. But do let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about 13.1? Are you worried that 13.0 is not great? It will not work with 13.1 because of how iOS handles version numbers. Or just do you have any thoughts on your own now that 13.1's only new feature is just Siri automations? There literally isn't enough stuff to justify a .1 release, but we do have new wallpapers. We do have the AirPods icon now in the volume button, the volume HUD. So what do you think of 13.1? What do you think of this entire thing? We should be getting beta 9 of 13.0 instead. We get beta 1 of 13.1 instead. Really, really weird. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Do you agree with those Reddit comments? As for me, I have 13.1, and it's not great. It's still kind of buggy. It's still not great, so I guess they will try to focus on, if they were going to release 13.0, is to iron out all the bugs. Either way, I'd like to know what you think, and please enjoy iOS 13. Have fun.